Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. On the program this morning, we'll be taking a look at issues around tanker explosions and making our roads safer. This year alone, we've had not less than 3 to 4 tanker explosions, not only in Lagos but across Nigeria. And of course, this has led to multiple deaths, destructions, and of course, the dilapidate, of course, also forcing some road infrastructure to be destroyed. But how do we ensure that these tankers, what exactly are some of the causes of these incidents? And also, if some are man-made, how do we ensure that there is a reduction? And if some are, accidental issues, how also do we ensure that we, put things in place to ensure that there is a minimal, destruction of properties and when these things occur. And so we do have a guest in the house this morning whom together we'll be taking a look at this particular discussion. He's a retired permanent secretary at the Ministry of Transportation and currently the head of Department Transport Technology and Infrastructure at the School of Transportation, Lagos State University, LASU. Dr. Taiwo Salam, thank you for being here on the program this morning.
Thank you very much,
Right, sir,
for having me. And to viewers, good morning.
So let's start this way. I know that, of course, while in office, before you retired, there were a couple of issues concerning, articulated vehicles, tanker explosions, and then there would have been some investigations that were carried out. So if you'd like to backtrack a bit and maybe tell us what were some of, the causes of, tanker explosions or tanker accidents that are quite common, especially in Lagos?
Yes. The issue of tanker explosion and accident is a multifaceted one. If you really look at it, we have bad roads, we have drivers, and we have the vehicles, as well as the motorists as well. They do create problem. When you see all these small cars crossing and they are giving problem, you see, when you are riding an articulated vehicle, you have to be careful the way they are driving. But when you see cars and small vehicles crossing into them like that, it affects the way they drive. That is one side of it. When you look at the drivers as well, most of them, they are under the influence. And again, you see all these small boys now mounting these trailers. They don't care. They call them Gen Z. All this, and they don't care. And the way they drive this, sometimes they look at it as if it's a toy.
Like a toy.
It's a toy in their hand and they just drive anyhow. Another aspect of it is the problem of bad road, which in Lagos now, kudos to the present government, it has done a lot when it comes to repairing and resourcing the roads. Roads is one of it. And then when you look at the vehicle itself, you see some of these Tokumbo trucks that they brought in, the chassis they brought in, they created problem. And again, they have leakages and they are not well welded and being careful. They have problem of brake failure. They have problem of non-maintenance. Sometimes the owner of the truck will say, don't worry, go this trip. By the time you return, I'll do it, and it's a trip of no return. So all things like this constitute to the problem of tankers, breakdown and explosions.
Okay. If these have been the situation even while you were in office, I want us to look beyond Lagos now in terms of the quality of our roads and the state of our roads. There are laws in place guiding the operations of these people. What are the law enforcement agencies doing to ensure that these people comply with the regular safety measures to ensure safety on our roads, even when they are moving from point A to B?
Yes, if you look at the law enforcement agencies, in Lagos State, let us take Lagos State for example, there was a time that the VIO were on the road, and sometimes the way they would behave that time, they were asked to leave the road. I was in service then. And we have to bring up LACVIS, Lagos State Computerized Vehicle Inspection Services. But you can only take horse to the river. You can't force us to drink. But this is the aftermath of not drinking the water. So all the areas we have tank farms, look at our ports, look at where all these trailers are emerging, are coming out from, including our trailer parks. There must, not should, there must be presence of computerized vehicle inspection services. So when the vehicle is coming in to go and load, it must go through the computerized inspection services and not human checking this time around, to check their ASU, to check their brake, and to check even the driver himself. How many times have they been going to LASDRI, Lagos State Drivers Institute, to recertify themselves? So these are the problems that we've been going through. That's one. The second, the law. When you look at VIO, LASMA, Federal Road Safety Corps, they're supposed to complement, coordinate their activities, not competing. And when the law is saying that it is the FRSC that should be on the federal road, this LASMA should be on state road, and local government on this road, you see, you have created a dichotomy, a situation whereby it is not my own concern. And when you look at the fuel of all these trailers, majorly on federal roads. So, but if they were allowed to coordinate their activities rather than competing their operations, I think we'll be able to resolve all these things. So, again, the law is there. And another area that you have to look at is the problem of these street auctions. They are also creating problems. When the vehicle breaks down, they want to say, you have to pay for breakdown.
Can you imagine?
Yes, you have to pay for breakdown.
As if the driver would want their vehicle to break down.
And now, what do you now see the driver for? They are now carrying sword, they are now carrying things that can inflict injury on people. And now, will you blame them? No. Because if you look at it, during Fashola regime, we do have laws that guided their operations. But when we have a problem of fuel scarcity in the country, the fuel tankers were allowed at that time to move through the day, because they had to operate between 12 and 6 a.m. at night. So once 6 a.m. people are going to work, we don't want to see them on the road. Saturday and Sunday, they operate 10 to 6 a.m. But Monday, weekdays, is 12 midnight to 6 a.m. So all these things put together had a problem that is affecting the law enforcement of these trucks.
Okay, I mean, from what you've said now, because again, we're looking beyond Lagos, because we know that the latest of such incident was in Abuja, where there was another tanker which exploded, aside the one we had, at the Otedola Bridge here. But holistically, when you look at issues like this, can you take us through? I know that, of course, different states have their own laws, but then as a federal government, Nigeria as a whole, is there a particular law that guides the operations of these vehicles from point A to point B in Nigeria?
Yes. After the 2018 Otedola Bridge incident, we was called to meet the SSG, Secretary to the State Government of the Federation, who was the MD of NIWA before becoming the SSG. We all met in Abuja, and including all the VIOs nationwide, the Federal Road Safety, and others that are including RITIAN, NURTW, and all these tanker union people. It's just unfortunate they were to come to Lagos to come and learn and to come and study us. But maybe they've come now, but till the time I left, they didn't come. So when you talk of the law, the general law is that of the federal is that there will be a bridge, what do we call this bridge? A weight bridge that should not carry more than this capacity and blah, 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 blah. But how many weight bridges do we have around now?
Sure.
Then secondly is that the VIO have the right, when you move from this state to another state, they have the right to stop you and check you, because if you are escaping this state, you may not be able to escape their state.
Right.
I am not sure that is being done. And that the federal road safety call themselves, you see the way they kill them on the road. So, if and what we have done in Lagos now is to electronically patrol and monitor all these people. So by installing camera in a strategic area on their corridor, just as we have on Third Mainland Bridge, they should be able to have it around all the federal road and the location of these people. Because this accident happen in 3 ways. 1, when they are loading. 2, on transit. 3, when they are offloading. So those are just it. The on transit one are the ones that are being caused by bad road, reckless driving, and a bad vehicle too.
Right.
But when it comes to the loading, the problem of the loading is that when the person that is loading or the vehicle they are loading, if there is a problem there, they can start leaking, it can create problem.
Okay.
And when they are offloading, like the one at Mobile here, at Awolowo Way, like the one at Abuja, so those are the problems that we always have.
Okay, I'm happy you are taking it beyond Lagos now. Is it true that oftentimes these tanker drivers, they also hold government by the jugular, sometimes when they don't want to comply with the laws put in place by government? And what are the basic safety measures that they need to put in place? While I was coming to the studio this morning, I read that the valve is a basic tool that they need to have in every tanker, so that even when it spills, it will be able to protect.
You are talking of anti-lock?
Yes.
Yes, go on.
How many of them do have this?
Thank you very much. This is where all the law enforcement need to coordinate their activities. So not that I move 10 kilometers, they stop me, they want to have this. I move another 10 kilometers, they stop me, they want to have this. Whenever you want to load, computerized vehicle inspection services, among their inspection should be that you have anti-spin lock valve. Less than 1% of them do have them. And that's when they fell down, all the contents are exposed. But when they have this valve, it's like a gate valve.
Okay.
Once it is locked, anything inside it, just like you have
protected.
Coca-Cola.
Right.
Or 7-Up. If you don't open the lid, it will be there. Shake it 500 times, it will continue, but open the lid and see the issue, because it is already cocked. Okay. So the driver of the anti-lock valve, the job of the anti-spin lock is to cock that hole and to make sure problem like that. And if you see, if you want to use anti-lock valve, they are in categories. They are in categories because you don't go. The standard for trailers on Lagos Road, on Nigerian Road, is 33,000 tons.
Okay.
33,000 liters, which is 30 tons. But you see them going 45 tons, 60 tons, 65 tons. What does that make sense?
Right.
The one that had that problem at Otedola is a 15-ton chassis dragging 45-ton load.
Oh.
It's just like you say, a 2-year-old boy should carry me. So when you now go to the peak and there's traffic, so when the traffic was moving now, for him to move along with the traffic, to drag that load, just like asking 2-year-old boy to lift me up. So that's how that thing drove. He lost over, about 9 people died that time.
Not that.
About 9 people died, and then about 56 or 57 vehicles were pumped.
And buildings as well. Dr. Salam, let me quickly, from what you said here, it means that if a 15-ton vehicle,
No, 15-ton chassis. That is the engine.
Carried more than it should have carried.
Yes.
It means there's a problem.
Correct.
And so when we keep talking about things like this, and I know that at the time you were in office, I think at that time, Lagos State government had also said if any accident happened and investigations indicted the companies, they were going to be prosecuted. So if people, one way or the other, do the things that are wrong, and at the end of the day, there are no repercussions, are we really serious about ending these issues?
The Otedola problem at that time, I went to Kano to go and bring the driver. The commissioner of police at that time, they wanted to prosecute the guy, but we didn't hear anything again. So, for the government to say that for any accident that occur and they find the driver guilty, the owner and the driver should be prosecuted is correct. But how many of them have been prosecuted?
What if the driver dies or the motor?
What if
the driver dies?
If the driver dies, that's the end of it. But majority of them don't die; they run away. Okay, look at the one that happened at Otedola. I mean, at Otedola under the bridge. The truck was to turn into second coming.
Yes.
Gas. It was carrying gas, and because the brake failed. It continued going down
and because it's
towards the hill. And he wanted to use the culvert to stop it. So the chassis
gave way,
removed from the whole this thing, and then it is the leakage from the gas
that caused the
explosion. It is the leakage from the gas that caused the explosion. Now, will you say that is driver's fault? The owner, I don't know, but that driver, before a brake fail, it must have been giving you signs that you need to change the pad, you need to change the oil, you need to do this, check the servo, all these things. But do they do it? The answer is no.
So, sorry, Jibola, so from what you've said now, Dr. Salam, the drivers whom might have known that there's a problem with the vehicle, do they have a right to say, you know what, because you're not fixing this vehicle, I'm not going to drive it?
Their union can support them if they have that right. But again, if you refuse to drive it, and if Rasaki refuses to drive it and Bolaji is ready to drive it, what happened? So you are already blackmailed. Then again, when you go like that and you come back, they give them incentive. So he wants to get that incentive. There are many things that go with it.
Okay.
Look at the one that happened in Niger State in January 18th.
Right.
And you can see that he killed about 86 people over there. Because they just don't have it like that. Another one happened in March 5, 2025. And it's also the gas. And you can see it burnt and killed people all like that. There was another one at Agbo in Delta State in January 5. He killed 5 people. People are going there to go and scoop. But the worst of them all was the one that happened in Jigawa in October 2024. And he killed over 150 people. Again, when this accident occurred, they don't, it doesn't come as a self-accident alone. The repercussion of it spread all about. And it's an opportunity. I know they are doing it, but it's an opportunity also to educate people. Whenever you see a tanker that fell down, don't wait. Just forget about waiting. And don't use your phone. Don't lit cigarette. Don't use anything that can create radiation.
Okay.
That's just it.
Okay. Dr. Taiwo, I love what you just raised now. Because oftentimes when there's a tanker accident, we see people using their phones to record people scooping fuel, thinking they are making money at the expense of their lives.
No, money
when
to
you
die.
were in office, did you take any action to correct all of these anomalies? That is one. And some of these drivers, fine, we have blamed them, they don't comply, they are this, they are that. Some of them, they make mistake due to fatigue. And the state of our roads is also worrisome in some part of the country. Even if your vehicle is good and the driver is 100% fit, if the road is not good, these kind of things are bound to happen. So what do you think government should begin to do in this direction?
Thank you very much. Between 2015 to 2021, we have about 9 accidents in Lagos. The 2015 one was the one at Yanokpaja that dropped.
From the bridge.
And about 44 shops and 33 cars were burnt. But thank God, no life was lost. In 2017, we have about another one there, the one at Festac. He's trying to climb that bridge to Apple Junction. When it was a speed, by the time he got there, he lost control and he burnt the car mat that were beside the lagoon there. He burned the car mats again, no life was lost. In 2020, there was one in Badagry that people were scooping fuel. I never knew I can drive like that. Less than 50 minutes I was in Badagry to make sure that, and with the police and the fire brigade, we alerted everybody. So we were able to get, and no life was lost again. Then we have another 5 in 2021. The one at Egbeda, no casualty there. The one at Abule Ado by Satellite, the bad road, was the one that caused that one. Then the one at Igomu, yes, we have that one there. Then we have one at Toyota.
Oshodi.
Toyota Oshodi here. We have one there. And all this I'm saying, no life was lost. Except the one along in 2021, along Mobolaji Bank Anthony.
Okay, in Ikeja.
By that Sheraton.
Okay.
It was leaking gas.
Right.
And the people at the Chinese restaurant caught fire and it roasted a lot of people that died. Even I lost a friend there. So when you look at all these things happening, we'll be able, because of the law, that's what I was saying, and the fire brigade. In fact, for now, the government has improved on all the fire brigade. We've got them in many nooks and crannies of Lagos now.
Right. And
with new equipment to be able to resolve those ones. The one at Otetola at that time could have killed many people. But if not the quick intervention of fire brigade and other agencies, would have had that. Now, way out. Way out is that, one, government should try to link all petrol stations with pipelines.
Okay.
So when you have pipelines that goes into your underground tank, they put valve there.
okay.
It just as with our phone. If you want to buy credit of 2,000, if you want to buy credit of 20,000, you have it there. So if you want 20,000 liters of fuel, if you pay for 30,000, once you have the 20,000, it means that you still have extra 10,000
left.
And anytime you are ready, you can see open the valve until you get to 0 liter, then the valve will shut down. So you can have there, and from there you can dispense to motorists. Okay. That is one way they can do it. Because in Saudi Arabia, I've never seen
a tanker
carrying petrol. They only carry water to supply. They don't carry petrol. They've linked all their, and that is what we told Dangote.
Salami, is that still possible, since we have almost all the areas built up already and you know the filling stations already built? Is it possible, this suggestion that you've given, is it still doable?
If the town planner, that's the physical planning, the transportants and the engineers, when they sit down and lands, when they sit down and work together, far possible. The question is how much is the life of a person compared to what they're going to do.
Okay.
So the question is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Okay.
So that's one
okay,
aspect
go ahead.
of
Yes.
it.
Another
Another
one.
area they need to do is to ensure that Lagos State computerized vehicles are in all the ports, all the loading
Bays.
bays,
Okay.
everywhere, so that when your vehicle comes in, before it goes out, before they load you, they must see the certificate, proof of certificate that your vehicle is roadworthy.
Right.
And when the road safety, LASMA, or any other government agent, particularly on the road, stops you, they don't need anything from
Once
you.
they
All
see
you
your
need to see,
certificate.
once they see that one, you move. Because if there is any problem, it will come back to computerized vehicle inspection services, and you are the one that cleared this vehicle.
Right.
And because they have to check tires, they have to check brakes, they have to even check the human being that is driving, because most of them, they are under the influence.
Right. So you've mentioned 2 areas. Now, I'd also like us to look at, because I know you mentioned this in passing earlier, when you talked about the age limit of the tankers themselves. You did say that some of them are old, some of them are not even supposed to still, be working. So how do we put a check into that?
Thank you. Those are the part of the things that we discussed in Abuja in 2018 after the Otedola incident. And we raised the issue that we should be able to have transport bank so that all these bad vehicles can be reflected. And they will be paying to the transport bank. If you are giving a loan of 50 million, or let us say 500 million, and you are able to put 20 or 30 trucks on the road, you will be banking with the transport bank.
Okay.
So all the money that are coming, everybody pay. You want to use my truck now, you pay to the transport bank.
Okay.
And at the end of the month, the transport bank, if I make 50 million, if I will be paying transport bank 40 million every month, the transport bank will just transfer 40 million from my account into my repayment account.
Does that mean I don't have to own a tanker, but then be since I subscribe to the bank, then I can always get, a tanker to lift my product?
Yes, yes. I'm saying you are the tanker owner.
Okay.
And we want to reflect
the tankers.
Your tankers.
Okay.
And maybe you are not solvent to reflect them like that.
Okay, so it can be instrumental.
Go to transport bank.
Okay.
Then you have to open account with them. And once you are able to get all these transport, all these tankers, when they are now for them not to be sure that you don't take their money and go away. So people will be paying into account, and you'll be giving the truck to them. Okay. They will not be paying to you directly, but to that transport bank account. Okay. And at the end of the month, if the agreement is take 40 million from my account to my payment
plan.
So everything goes like that.
Okay. Now that you're beginning to see some reasonable investment in reviving our railing system again, can we begin to look into that direction as well? And there was a question that I put to you the other time about how we should change the orientation of our people, not to see, how would I call it now? Not to see a situation whereby a tanker has fallen, a situation where they're not going to see it as an opportunity for them to make money. How do we reorientate our people? That's one. Then the railing system, should we begin to look into that direction now that we're trying to revive it?
Thank you.
Instead of using our roads.
Thank you. When we were young, we always go to Ido. From Okearin, we cross Kireni, we cross the Kata Bridge to Ido, or we go to Ijora to go and see the train moving products. They move fuel to the north. They move fuel to the north. When do we start using tanker? We started using tanker in the early 80s. Up to that 70, even after the war, they were using rail to move all those things. So, and I strongly believe that the present MD of Nigerian Railway, Dr. Kayode Okwefa, I think he is looking at that direction too. And because the last research I did in a port, that they were carrying only 25
liters
containers every day, and not every day. But now they are moving up to 200, 300, more than that now. So that aspect should also go to liquid product, like petroleum product and other things too. You see, all the proliferation of tank farm in satellite, Ijegu area, is a problem started just waiting to occur. But God has been helping us. I don't think we need all that. I don't think so. I don't think we need all that. And the same thing goes for Dangote. Where you are refining, let the tankers far away from it. Go and get tank farm far away. So that move all the traffic away from that area. Let them go towards Ogun State. Let them be picking and be going through the expressway. So, number one, you don't congest that area. Because if you look at it, the economic importance of it is going to affect him later. When you have fuel and there are trucks that are already
waiting to get
blocked the whole road, how do you move your fuel out?
Okay.
50% of your fuel are going by water, by barges. The other 50% for domestic use. The other 50%, you will need about over 9,000 to 10,000 trucks per day to move them. And you only are using on that area.
Right. So two questions I have lumped into one before we allow you to go this morning. Because of the nature of Nigerian roads, some are also muting the idea that is it possible to have dedicated roads for these tankers? And if not, are we also able to go back to restricting the tankers working only at certain hours? Maybe only at night, but if they are also working at night, some are also scared about the security nature of the country. So how do we navigate that situation?
If you look at the transport policy and way of life, transport operation, you don't allow tankers, trailers to pass within the town. You create a route for them
at the back
of the town, of the city. But here, they have to go through the town. There was one clip that I saw. That driver risked his life to drive that tanker, that petrol tanker that was burning, off the city far, far, far away, before he too was able to park it and run away. And they gave him an award. But again, that is the only way he can pass. They should build road off the city that the trailer will pass through. That is one aspect of it. Another aspect that you mentioned.
Yes, the timing.
Yes. If you look at 2012 traffic law, during Governor Fashola, we said that it was there that tankers,
should move at night.
All trailers, both
articulated vehicles
generally, they should move between 12
and 6 a.m.
midnight to 6 a.m. so that they will not disrupt traffic. But when there was fuel
scarcity
problem, scarcity in the nation, they were only the one allowed to move. But what happened? You now see dry and other cargoes instead of wet cargoes moving along with them. So the question still remains that let us go back to that law to save human beings and to save properties.
At least if they travel at that time and if they were to have accidents, at least it will be minimal.
Yes.
The number of people that could be caught.
Even if you are driving at that time, because the road is free, the road is as low as level of service A, whereby everybody can choose his own speed, his own time, everything. You can just zoom off beside them, or if you decide to stay behind them,
that's fine.
There is no problem. But they too, they are having problem. You see all these street ushers disturbing them. They don't allow them. At night, when they break down, who will come to their assistance? So you see all these problems here and there. So they need to come together and find solution to it.
Okay, at that time, did you have any kind of engagement with the union of these tankers?
Yes. They don't know they have power before. But during the problem with Abiola Dixon, that is when they tested their power. With this man in the house, what is his name was? This union man in the Senate now.
Oshiomhole.
Oshiomhole. When they tested their house and they decided to down tools. And it nearly crumbled Abacha regime then. That's when they came out and said that, okay. And that's why federal government also came and started buying trucks and asking soldiers
to drive
them.
Trucks.
And then, so.
Okay,
we
would have to lead this conversation here this morning. Dr. Taiwo Salam has been able to educate us on why some of these problems persist, and if we must be out of this situation, what government and stakeholders must do at ensuring that issues around explosion of these tankers are nipped in the bud. Thank you so much, Dr. Salam, for finding time to be with us on the program today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, Joy will be here with her Lagos conversation.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.